Hello and welcome to This Week in Overwatch League, where we break down last week's matches, go over what to expect this next week, showcase some of our favorite moments, and do at least one pro gameplay takeaway that you can apply in your own competitive matches at home. This week's Seoul swept the LA Valiant 4-0. Dallas Fuel showed up against Shanghai Dragons, taking the match 3-1. And the Gladiators, under new main tank Fissure, transferred from London Spitfire, sweeping San Francisco Shock 4-0. Then on Thursday, Houston took London Spitfire to a tiebreaker and won it. We saw New York Excelsior struggle a little to beat Florida Mayhem 3-1 in the end, and Philly sweep Boston Uprising in a 4-0 victory. Friday, we saw a neck-and-neck match between London Spitfire and New York Excel, and London Spitfire took them to a tiebreaker and then won. Dallas showed up big against the LA Gladiators, beating them 3-1, and Seoul Dynasty beat San Francisco Shock 3-1. On Saturday, Philly swept Florida Mayhem 4-0, Houston swept Boston 4-0, and LA Valiant struggled a little bit against the team that's at the bottom of the Overwatch League currently, the Shanghai Dragons. So what are the big changes in gameplay where Stage 2 is concerned? Well, for one thing, the Mercy and Junkrat nerf patch is live. Junkrat's concussive mines now have damage fall off, which means you have to be a little bit more accurate with them to make them effective. Mercy's nerfs are huge. Her Valkyrie is not as long in duration. She no longer has an extra res charge during her Valkyrie, and those resurrections are not instant. She also doesn't Guardian Angel as quickly between her allies. What does this mean for Stage 2? Well, it means that you won't see Mercy in virtually every game anymore. These changes, particularly the Mercy nerf, are really positive for the Overwatch League, as some of the league's best players are support players. In the must-pick Mercy era, you could no longer see Rouge-Hung getting that clutch sleep dart on an ulting Genji. You could no longer see booping a Reinhardt and changing the dynamic of the match. For the most part, now, when you see a member of the Overwatch League get a high value pick on the enemy team, the person they picked off will stay dead and will need to respawn. This new meta means that team fights are a lot more exciting to watch, and it feels like the unit that's working together best as a team wins the match. This is the way that Overwatch League should work. And now, last week's style points.
Fissure falls, and Gladiators just in complete disarray here. Goodbye hydration again. AKM taking out everybody.
My mom is so happy.
You're sounding extra angelic today, fuck.
He has to zoom Yada back on this point at 98%.
Drums, what are you pumped about when you watch this team?
Yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. Deep nade all the way in. Oh, style from Zonak!
All this time to focus on Stage 2.
The main tank for them previously when they were able to win over Shanghai. Wow, that's a change. That's a change in personalities.
Can't stay on the point. There's a pulse bomb on the bait, and the Transcendence booped off.
I personally still do think the mirror was a little too passive on Hanamura.
Oh, I love it. Bit of fun, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do here in the Blizzard Arena. We'll see you all return for map 4. It's 2-1, New York.
Those were some of the best moments in the Overwatch League last week. Next week, starting on Wednesday, Seoul Dynasty takes on the Dallas Fuel, the LA Valiant takes on San Francisco Shock, and the Shanghai Dragons go up against the LA Gladiators. Then on Thursday, we'll see Florida take on the London Spitfire in the opening game, then Houston take on the Philadelphia Fusion, Boston Uprising takes on New York Excelsior. Friday, Boston again, taking on Florida Mayhem. The LA Gladiators taking on Seoul Dynasty, and to close things out for the day, Dallas Fuel versus the LA Valiant. Saturday we'll see Philly take on the London Spitfire, Houston Outlaws versus NYXL. And to close things out, Shanghai Dragons versus San Francisco Shock. I've been putting my predictions on Twitter at TWIOCH Bad Moon. We are wrapping things up this week with pro gameplay takeaway that highlights an Overwatch League moment or strategy that we can apply in our competitive games and hopefully come out just a little bit better. This week's takeaway comes from the Philadelphia Fusion versus Florida Mayhem game on Map 2, Nepal, on Sanctum. Philadelphia Fusion had captured the point and were at 99%. Zupe, playing Zenyatta for Florida Mayhem, popped his Transcendence and rushed onto the point to contest. This would stall out the overtime and give Florida Mayhem a chance to retake the point and win the map. But Poco, playing D.Va for Philadelphia Fusion, boosts towards the Zenyatta and boops him, denying the opportunity to contest and winning Philly Fusion the map. Sometimes getting that victory is about winning the fight. Other times it's about simply denying the enemy team the opportunity to contest at all. That's going to wrap things up for this week in Overwatch League. I've been your host. Follow me on Twitter at TWIOCH Badmoon, and don't forget, never get caught with your beard in a letterbox.